Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode number 82 of NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your pal Val. With me is the man, the myth, the legend, King NASCAR Hall of Famer, PSA Hall of Famer, King NASCAR Logan. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
That's awesome. And then Jason should be joining us here at the show already in progress. So we'll see if he's able to make it. So, got a great show for everybody today. Talk about some NASCAR news. We're going to talk about Dale Earnhardt, top 10 cards, and some honorable mentions. And then I saw a tweet about Brad Keselowski kind of talking about why he does the stickers. So we'll talk about that and dive. If you believe it, it's been 10 years since Ignite 2012. So,
Dang, I can't believe it's been that long.
well, here's another one too. So 1972 STP, that's 50 years old.
Oh my God, that's right. This is the 50th anniversary of that.
Yeah, with Daytona coming up. Yep. Let's dive into it. Wait, hold on. We have a caller coming in. Caller, you're on the air.
You are live.
It's not even funny.
The amazing Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well. Better now.
Awesome. We're just going over the all the goodies that we're going to talk about today on show 82. So you're right on time.
Yeah, perfect.
We were talking about Daytona and STP being 50 years old, but NASCAR season is starting this weekend with the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. That's at Los Angeles Coliseum at 8 p.m. on Sunday, February the 6th. So I was thinking about that. I was like, that seems kind of late, and being on a Sunday, I'm surprised it's not Saturday night, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to have all the heat races on, whatever channel they're going to have them on Fox. If they're going to have them on FS1 or whatever, and then have the main event later that night. I don't know. I hope they have all the heat races. That would really be nice to see. I mean, if they show qualifying, they should show heat races.
Yeah, we'll find out. Also, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Panini America, and also all you great listeners are listening to the show. We appreciate you spending some time with us each and every week. If you'll hit the like button and share the podcast, we appreciate it. Especially want to give out some shout outs to our new listeners in Germany and Belgium, Australia, and the United Kingdom. And Texas is bringing the listeners big time. So way to go, Texas, as our biggest listener base. You'd think it'd be North Carolina, South Carolina. They're neck and neck for second and third. So
yeah, well, maybe it's all our buddies at Panini.
Maybe, but we don't want to, discourage the folks in Michigan and Missouri, Nevada, and Oklahoma. So we appreciate everybody listening to the show. The great folks in Illinois, Pennsylvania, California, New Jersey, New York, Alabama, Virginia, Georgia. So thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Well, let's start with some NASCAR news.
Well, I've got a little bit of news. You were talking about the Clash on Sunday. This could be the first of 3 consecutive years of having this race at the Coliseum. NASCAR has 90 days after Sunday's race to state their intentions if they want to continue this next year. So I guess it's really going to depend on the turnout and the response of this race. They're expecting a crowd of like 50 to 60,000 people. The Coliseum, I think it holds like 78,000 people, but I think they're going to vacate the lower levels. So just in case, something gets squirrely and somebody gets over the fence or into the fence, spectators will be safe. But hopefully we'll have a good turnout, and that'd be cool if they could have it for 3 years.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. I was looking at some of the pictures that I noticed, like there's no catch fence, but it is the track is lower than the stands, or whatever. And I think there was some kind of wall there, but yeah, we'll see how it does. I mean, 50, 60,000 people in a new market, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that seating is going to be kind of reminiscent of like monster truck races in different coliseums around the country. So I guess they're going to do the same kind of thing.
And I was saying it was starting at 8 p.m., but I mean, it was 5 p.m. there, but I give them plenty of time to start tailgating. So I know back in the days when I was working, having to be work at 7 o'clock in the morning on race weekends, you'd see them head into the track, like to the Coke 600. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Race is not till 5 p.m. It's a long day to party. And so anyway,
Yeah.
that'll be awesome. I can't
So
wait.
something else I saw too is Helio Castroneves. He's the 4-time Indy 500 winner. He was a guest on Sirius XM radio with, I think he was with Danielle Trotta and Jeff Burton. Anyway, they were just talking, and this was just talk. Keep in mind, he shared that he might be interested in racing in NASCAR and driving in the Daytona 500. So if he was to do that and was actually, somehow able to win, he would join Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt is the only two people to ever win both those races. So that's cool.
Yeah, I also saw that he won the 24 hours. Was it Rolex 24 hours in Daytona last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, he's been going strong. I mean, he won the Indy 500, and now he's won the Rolex, and who knows? I mean, I don't know if he's going to be in Daytona 500 this year or not, because I haven't heard any teams say, "Hey, we're going to run him," but anything's possible. So stay tuned.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. The more we have crossover between, hey, I'd love to see Lewis Hamilton get into a NASCAR, see how good he does.
Well, when I saw that was the first thing I thought of. Is that, my God, if Lewis Hamilton was to come in and drive a stock car, even if it was just for one race, oh my God, people would just be going absolute bonkers. I mean, just think that would be the melding of NASCAR and Formula One. So hopefully that would help NASCAR for sure.
That would be interesting. So, speaking of F1 real quick, the Topps F1 releases in 7 days. So we will talk about that release next week and deep dive into the sell sheet. Hopefully the checklist will be out. So for all the F1 fans. So we'll be covering the races this year on NasCard Radio. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. And I've got one last thing. If nobody else has anything else, Netflix is going to be celebrating Bubba Wallace's career with a new docuseries, and it's going to be released on 2/22/22, a palindrome day, which is also a palindrome day today while we're recording. But anyway, they're going to have 6 episodes, each of them running 45 minutes, and it's going to chronicle the 2021 Cup Series season with the 23 XI team. And this was developed, from what I understand, between a partnership between NASCAR and Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. So I think that's going to be pretty cool because I, as you all know, I love me some Bubba.
Same here. I think any, those Netflix series, and that they were talking about, like the Netflix series helping F1 when, during that pandemic, whatever. And I just don't, I think some of that will help bring maybe some new fans in to NASCAR. So yeah, Bubba's been great. We've been following him since 2012, 2013. So awesome to see him, doing well and start that whole new team up and with Michael Jordan. And so I think it's going to be nice, more exposure for NASCAR. So I think it's good.
Yeah, hopefully they do that well. And when I say do, I mean advertise that well, because when you have, Michael Jordan there and how well The Last Dance did, this is, to a degree, it's a NASCAR version of The Last Dance. You're doing a 6-part thing on somebody's season where some big names are involved in that team. And, it's something, at least for me, I'm thinking, man, I've never seen this before. This is pretty big. And for Netflix to step in and say, hey, we're going to give you 6 or 8 episodes or whatever it is, that's a pretty big deal. And that's mainstream for sure.
Well, hopefully they'll mention Wendell Scott. And I was going to say, I don't know if we talked about it before, but there was either it's not 30 for 30. There's another one that's an hour long. Is it 60 something or whatever it's called? But they did one on Bubba Wallace, and I watched it, and they had some mention of Wendell Scott, because I'm a big Wendell Scott fan, and Bubba Wallace. So through that history and stuff, and actually went to the African American Museum of History and DC, and I was, trying to find Wendell Scott stuff, and they didn't have anything for him. They had other areas. They have a whole sports area and nothing in there. So I, was talking to one of the folks that worked there, whatever. I think all they had, and it wasn't even displayed, was the Wendell's their driving racing suit that Richard Pryor wore in the movie Grease Lightning, and nothing else. So it'd be nice to bring some more recognition to Wendell Scott and all the stuff that he did for the sport. So
Totally agree. Yeah, that's a little disappointing. That's all they have.
yeah, I don't. It's been a few years since I've been. I don't know if anything's changed or not, but we getting off on a tangent here. But talking to the Scott family at the induction ceremony, they said they were waiting for the call from that institution, asking for stuff for him. So they haven't had not had got it yet. So this has been a few years, but I think the Netflix series will be great, and telling them Bubba's story and hopefully some of the other stories too. So
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be cool. That's all I've got.
you want to go into the Brad K?
Sure.
So we did see, or actually, Jason had saw it on, I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter, maybe it was Twitter,
Facebook.
that one of the folks had gotten actually a question for Brad and had a response back from Brad, but basically they're saying that basically to Brad, that most of his cards are with autos. He's seen it's all on a sticker placed on the card rather than on card signed. And he's asking, is there any reason for this? Not a dig, just a collector curious. So Brad came back, said he feels like I can sign them better, and they have built-in hologram to prove they are real for my fans. So that's nice that the sticker does offer that. But and Jason, before he came out, I was like, this is the 10th anniversary of the 2012 Ignite, when there's a kind of little bit of a scandal, or Press Pass had to make a release about the Brad Keselowski cards in 2012 Ignite. And so that was May 7th, 2012 is when they pushed out this release. So I can read it real quick. It says, as many as you know, last week we had the official release of Press Pass' newest NASCAR trading card release, 2012 Press Pass Ignite Racing. We are very excited about this new product and hope you will share in our excitement once you experience the product. We are aware of rumors which surfaced last week about Brad Keselowski's autographs and this product appearing not to be hand signed. It appears there was an accident related to the autograph sheets, as opposed to traditional autograph cards that were sent to Brad to be signed for Ignite, and unfortunately, they were mistakenly mishandled and signed with an auto pen. Press Pass takes authenticity very seriously, and we want our collectors to know that we would never intentionally put autographs into our products that were not authentic, hand-signed signatures. We are confident that this is an isolated incident and that no other autographs from any driver in Ignite or any other our products are affected. Press Pass has also reached out to the drivers and team representatives and reiterated internally that the importance of following the proper procedures to ensure that all autographs are authentic. We are all eager to correct this error as quickly as possible. Press Pass will be sitting down with Brad within the next few weeks to have the autograph sheets re-signed. Press Pass will also begin the process of having new cards printed, and each card will be rebuilt with the authentic autograph and a prime swatch, which is underlined, of race-used fire suit from Brad. In addition, everyone who received one of the Brad Keselowski Ignite Ink autograph cards and sends it in will also receive a retail box of 2012 Ignite Racing, a $20 value, plus your name will be entered in to win a trip for two to an upcoming race to watch Brad race in person. If you have received one of the Brad Keselowski Ignite Ink autograph cards, please contact us at, and they use the Press Pass email address. We will provide you with instructions for redeeming your card. We thank you for bringing this matter to our attention, and we appreciate your patience as we work to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Thanks to all of our loyal customers for your continued support. We want to be fully transparent with the situation, so please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. So that's the letter that Press Pass sent out in May of 2012.
So I like the way they said accident.
Well, it's probably more of a misunderstanding. To my knowledge, since that incident, Brad Keselowski cars have always been sticker. I can't think of any release from Panini or Press Pass since then that have been on card. Even National Treasures and whatever else are stickers.
Yep. Do you think?
So I have a couple questions without trying to go down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, sure.
Why, like, in your professional opinion, for both of you, why do you think out of all the people that have ever signed Press Pass, Panini, whatever, why do you think Brad chose to use an auto pen? Because it's not unfamiliar territory for an athlete, and even kids know that as an athlete, you're going to sign autographs. So these guys know, and especially with NASCAR, and you guys have preached how great they are with fans. So why all of a sudden would he decide I'm going to auto pin this and essentially phone it in instead of doing the real deal?
See, he signs in person and with no issues.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's where it doesn't correlate to me. Where is the connection lost that he knows what an autograph is? He does it in person, but why for this one particular stack of cards did he decide I'm not gonna do it the right way, or however you want to say it?
I don't know. I think he won the championship in 2012, but again, this is early 2012, so it wasn't after he won the championship. I don't know if he started getting more requests and then started, looking for other ways to. Because I think he's always signed that Brad K. If you look at some of his early stuff in 2008, I think it's always Brad K. So it hasn't changed it or had it real long and shortened it or went to BK or something. So I don't know. I don't know if Logan has any thoughts, but
Well, the only thing I can think of is he thinks, he thought his time was more valuable than sitting around signing a bunch of trading cards. And, if he can hand that off to somebody else and they can deal with it and he didn't have to deal with it and he can go test cars or make a sponsor appearance or whatever, maybe he thought his time was more well served doing it that way. I really don't know. I mean, that's just speculation.
I guess, obviously that's an option and everything that you guys said is an option, but it's just that thing where to me, this is the easiest way to give an autograph because you're essentially sent a stack of cards and you can sit in one place and sign them, comfort of your home. Nobody bothers you. It's the opposite when you're in person. It's like, there's people grabbing and touching and, putting this in your face. And it's like, granted, less avoidable because people are finding you. And, we've heard some horror stories of autograph seekers. But to me, these are the ones that's like, yeah, I'll do this all day because I can just sit and watch TV and sign them or, do whatever. So that's where I guess I've always been befuddled when all these conspiracies and stuff come out for the auto pins, because it's been in other sports too. And it's just, to me, this is so easy. Now, with other guys where it's, their first year or their first attempt at signing cards, I get maybe they don't understand, which is still a little wonky to me. But, for NASCAR especially, I think those guys are signing a ton of autographs to begin with. So that's where it always kind of surprised me to have it in that sport and to have no other incidents since.
When you were saying that, it made me think of, since they, after reading the letter, I'm wondering if somebody inside decided to do that and not, Brad knowing about it or something. Because Logan kind of touched on it. Yeah, because Logan kind of touched on it. It's like, well, if somebody's like, well, I can give Brad a bunch of his time back by signing these sticker sheets with auto pen. And again, up to that point, really, no one had done that in NASCAR. I don't know. I know auto pens existed and people did it, but this is way before Dak Prescott and some of that other stuff. So I don't know.
Well, do you think that having to go back and sign those cards by hand left a bad taste in his mouth, and he said at that point, "To heck with it. I'm just gonna sign stickers from now on. Y'all can just kiss my grits." I mean, I don't know.
That's another good point, right? So now he has to make good on that, and that could have rubbed him the wrong way, having to redo that.
It doesn't seem like he's apologetic for it, and I'm not, blaming him for any part of this situation. But for him to just continuously sign stickers, to me, it doesn't feel like he's making up for anything. Yes, he made up for the one incident, but ever since, it seems like, well, I'm just going to sign stickers and just, like you said, kiss my grits and sorry.
Well, he can, to your point, though, he can sign a stack of stickers. He's done. He's not getting a package in August, September, Prism that he's got to sign on card, and then he's got to sign cards in December for National Treasures. He's he can get the stack done, and then he's done for the year, as opposed to everybody else that has to sign multiple times through a year, right? Because it's not like they get like 100 cards; they're getting a few thousand cards,
right?
And then they have to handle all that. And they have actually a clock probably running where they need to get back before, it turns into a redemption or whatever. So maybe just after this time, he just felt like he can get it done on his time and be done with it. So I don't know, but again, since that time, everything's been on sticker.
I will give him credit, and I don't know if it's deserved, but from his statement, let me read this part real quick, where he said, I feel like I can sign them better, obviously, because it's a sheet of stickers, and he can do it a bunch at once, but also that they have the built-in hologram to prove they are real for my fans. Whether or not that's how he truly feels behind that answer, that's something that a lot of people don't bring up. People complain about stickers all day long because they want their card to be touched by the athlete or the driver or whatever. But on the other hand, he's right. Like, there is that authenticity, and it's not a guarantee, nothing's 100%, but at the same time, that is one thing we never hear about sticker autographs is that, hey, I know it's from Panini. I know it's that person. We always just hear the complaints of, I don't like that on my card. It's ugly, and it can be. But as far as authenticity goes, that is something we never hear about the positive side of stickers.
I definitely agree with that, where, signing on the sticker, and because Hendrick drivers were doing that, and then Junior Motorsports drivers, I think, had stickers as well, or part of their autograph covered by the sticker to kind of show the authenticity. We don't have luckily, an issue with counterfeit autograph cards and stuff like that. So, any kind of thing that they can do to kind of help prove the authenticity is, I think we're all for that. But yeah, we just wanted to remind everybody about the Ignite 2012, and then also that letter from Press Pass. So if you see the 2012 Ignite cards out on eBay, you can kind of look for that prime patch. And I think if you Google it, you get, I think one of the websites had a picture of the auto pen. You can definitely tell it's kind of a small, stubby autograph, and then the new ones are bigger and bolder with that prime patch. So,
Yeah.
And again, everybody had the incentive to send them in, right? And we all know how much product gets made and opened, and everybody had the incentive to open it, send it in, because nobody really wants an auto pen. But do you have an auto pen, Logan, of that one?
I don't have an auto pen of that one that I know of. I'd have to go look, but I'm pretty sure I do not. I'd like to have one, actually. Just to
Me
say,
too.
hey, I got one.
They may actually be scarce.
They probably are. I mean, if somebody's got a bounty on it and they're going to give you a retail box of cards and they're going to put you in a drawing to go to a race, that's kind of tempting. But then on the other hand, you've got this card that's, it's going to be talked about forever because, this incident's always going to be there. why just not keep the thing? And if I had pulled one, I would have definitely kept it because, a $20 retail box is not going to matter to me. And you know how the chances are of winning anything are. It just seems like they're nothing. So I would just have kept it anyway. And I bet a lot of people did keep it. And I'd like to hear from people that did. And actually, I would love to see some pictures of some of them that you all did keep on Twitter. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, that would be good. Tag the three of us, NasCard Radio. Yeah, we'll see those Brad Keselowski. So 2012 ignites. So let's move on to the next subject. The Dale Earnhardt Sr. top 10 and honorable mentions. What can we say about the man in black, the Intimidator?
Well, he's one of the goats of NASCAR without a doubt. He's on the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR for sure. Him, Richard Petty, Jimmy, and Jeffy Poo.
7-time champion. Did it multiple large span of time. Jimmy had those 5 in a row, and Richard ran for a very long time. But if I remember right, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s first race was like in 75. Was his first championship in 80, I think it was?
Yeah,
79.
79. Yeah, he was rookie of the year in 79, and he won his first championship that next year with, I think, Rod Osterland team.
But yeah, so he won in 1980, 86, 87, 90, 91, 93, 94. I guess you can say Jeff came along.
Yeah, it kind of messed things up for him.
But he had 76 wins total, and then his passing in 2001.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch has got 59 wins, so for him to even get up to Earnhardt, he's got to win 17 more races. I don't know if Kyle Busch has got that in him, but I'm not trying to sidetrack this or anything. I'm just trying to give you an idea on how far up the win list he is.
Yeah, like I said, when you start looking at trying to put those kind of numbers up, it's tough. And he had multiple crew chiefs as well, so that was one thing. Richard Petty had, for the most part, one crew chief, right? And then Jimmy Johnson had Chad Knaus his whole time, but Dale Earnhardt Sr. had a few, right?
Yeah, he had Kurt Shelmerdine and Andy Petrie and Larry Mack. He had several different crew chiefs.
So I think that's a big deal. I think that kind of gets overlooked because you think about a team and hitting on all cylinders and trying to beat all the other teams. So you have personalities, whatever, to get that and be and still be the best, right?
Yeah, that that shows a side of him when you think about it, that he could get along apparently with a lot of different people and be successful at doing that. Whereas you see what happened when Jeff Gordon and Ray Evernham parted ways. Jeff wasn't nearly as good as he was with Evernham. He won one more championship, but still, I mean, he just wasn't the same. And Evernham as well, he was successful, but he wasn't as successful as he was with Jeff. So those two together were powerful. But Earnhardt, on the other hand, he just went out there and drove hard and used the chrome horn and got people out of his way and won races. That was his style.
Yeah, I want to say somebody said, that they would be beating and banging and everything, and they would be so mad at him. And then after the race, it was Dale's personality. Just, you couldn't hate him and whatever. It just, got along. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories like that, and he'll do things for people, give them money or help people out doing something, but he just tells them, hey, just keep it under the radar. I don't want it to get out that I'm a really, really good guy. I want to wear the black hat.
Yeah, and then I don't think people realize his business sense as well, right? Because I think he was one of the first drivers to copyright his name, right? So in the early 90s, and late 80s that, NASCAR collectibles were taken off and copywriting and trying to protect the brand and, be able to make some money off of that image and that kind of stuff and get rid of the bootlegs. So, I think he was ahead of his time on that. And, he also had copyright or whatever it was, Dan Hart Jr.'s name as well. So, so he had a great business sense and he knew. And if you watch some of those documentaries and stuff like that with Jeff, that, with Jeff Gordon coming along and with him, they were playing that in the media where it was, one or the other, and one was Coke, one was Pepsi, and they were using it to just bring the sport to another level, I guess you would say, right? Because everybody knows who Jeff Gordon is and Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah, they back then, they were partnered up on a lot of business ventures, that pertained to NASCAR. So, it was beneficial to both of them to play up the rivalry, to sell more, souvenirs, cards, whatever. And, it worked out well for them.
Yeah, there was a show that I guess Jeff Gordon was on, and basically, at the time, I guess he didn't understand it, but looking back, he does, understand what was going on and or the impact that they help propel each other.
Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, they only really got to race each other for what was it, like 8 seasons? I mean, it wasn't very long.
Hey, going back to what you said about the copyrights and trademarks, I'm pretty sure he was the first athlete. I don't want to say he's the first person, but I want to say he was the first athlete to trademark his signature too. Because I remember seeing like stickers on people's cars and it's like Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s signature. Like people still don't do that. And I mean, if you think about certain signatures like Jeter, or Griffey, or Jordan, Dale Earnhardt, like I feel like he is one of those ones that comes to mind that's very notable. But I think it's notable because people have seen it so many times. Where in other sports we see it in a lot more cards, but for him we saw it on stickers and cups and whatever else he had made.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I think like why he's not in the '88 Max set, right? That was because of the licensing deal and copyright stuff. So yeah, I think he was. And if I said he was the first one, I meant the first athlete that I know of, and some of the stuff that I've seen where they were going after the bootlegs and stuff like that, and I'm sure his hauler was pretty busy all those years with all the Dale Earnhardt memorabilia, and souvenirs.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when we would go to Talladega or any of the other races, Bristol or Atlanta or wherever, and his trailers were always doing a super business. And I'll have to admit, back in the day, I was a Bill Elliott fan. I was not a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan at all. And every time he beat Bill, he would just infuriate me more. And then, he would. One thing about Earnhardt though, he didn't talk a lot of smack about other drivers. I mean, I know Rusty Wallace would, and that's part of the reason that Rusty Wallace infuriated the heck out of me back in the day. But he was just a hard nosed driver, and kudos to him for winning all those races back then. Like I said, I wasn't a fan. It took me a while to kind of soften up to him. And then of course when he passed away, it was already too late for me. Like I said, I was becoming a fan, but I wasn't a total fan. But now these days, I miss him just like everybody else does, and I wish he was still here.
Yeah, I wasn't I was kind of starting to get into NASCAR and wasn't a big fan, but could definitely appreciate what he did for the sport, what he did in the sport, and listen to the stories now and stuff. Yeah, so he has about 4,400 cards, and it was hard to pick the top 10, and we have some honorable mentions. But one thing we should talk about real quick though is that he doesn't have any new cards, and because of copyright and, and licensing and other stuff, he hasn't had any cards in Panini, and really not too many cards. I guess whenever that license expired with Press Pass, that was it. It was not renewed. I don't remember exactly which series it was, but there was, I don't know, something for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and it was like maybe recapping or whatever, and one was missing, and it was you could tell it was Dale Earnhardt Sr. that should have probably been in there, but he wasn't. So
Can you briefly explain the issue? Because I kind of know it vaguely, but I would love to hear a better explanation.
So what I think with anything else is the card companies need permissions to print the likeness, the name, with everything, and that they're not able to get that permission. That the paperwork's at her attorney, her being Teresa Earnhardt, and I think it sits on the desk, and so they're kind of handcuffed. They can't do they being Panini or whatever company to produce cards. So I think, well, I thought maybe a possibility that there was the block had been broken with the Funko, but not on cards yet.
It just seems like there's such a grudge with cards, and I'm gonna play the kid aspect here. It's like it's such a safe thing to where it's not like a cigarette brand is trying to get him or anything like that, and it's been so many years, and it seems like this should be such a non-issue because it's just trading cards. It's not like a big global brand that everybody knows like Pepsi or Coke. We're talking Panini, where it's a niche for collectors. It's not something at every grocery store in America. So it just has always seemed so trivial for it not to be happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see cards, but
Well, we've talked to Tim and DJ and everybody else from Panini, and it's like what you said a while ago, Val. It's not like they haven't tried, and they told us just what you said. They've got the paperwork is at Teresa Earnhardt's attorney. She just doesn't, for whatever reason, and I think Jason used the best word you could use. There's some kind of grudge there that we don't know about, that she just will not let that happen. And in my opinion, she's doing a big disservice to his fans. There's a lot of fans that would love to have trading cards of Dale Earnhardt Sr. right now. I would love to have trading cards of Dale Earnhardt Sr. right now. And it's just not going to happen. And it's been since the end of Press Pass in 2014, that we haven't, or 2015, 2015, that we haven't seen anything on Earnhardt on a card. And man, I tell you that my NASCAR collecting world would be complete if they could get Dale Earnhardt back on cards. Imagine this. This year in 2021 National Treasures, they've got the cut legend autos, and all of those autos have come off that lithograph from the 50th anniversary. So, they've got Dale Earnhardt's signature right there. They could make cards with autographs. And can you imagine how crazy kind of money there would be for those cards? Oh my gosh, it would be incredible to see that. So I don't know what her grudge is with trading card companies, but I sure wish that she would sign that and let them make cards.
So while you were talking about it, I was trying to figure out the last time there were cards, and it was 2015 Press Pass Cup Chase. There's a tribute set.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were special inserts. In 2019, Allen and Ginter cut signature, but it was a 101. And then
I wonder if there was any legal action over that.
Yeah, and so 2017-18, Leaf Pearl, there was a cut signature, 1 of 1.
Well, I wonder if she's given permission to do one of ones.
But I would imagine those don't have any sort of pictures on them, which I'm sure helps their case. But like you guys said earlier, going back to, Earnhardt being what he is to the sport and to sports in general, the business side, his name's still trademarked. But with them only having a one-on-one, I'm sure that was like a test of like, let's dip our toes in the water, see if we can get away with it. Because with a cut, typically there's no picture, or if there is one, it's very small.
I was looking, there's a Torque with Earnhardt and Petty, but it's memorabilia. I don't remember that. So there's not a lot to Logan's point, and I think the whole community would love to see some cards. So hopefully maybe that can happen in the future. But going, back using that sample of 4,426 cards, we were trying to whittle it down to top 10. How do you guys want to break it up or announce?
I could start with the bottom 3, and then Jason can do 3, and you can do the last 4, Val. Do you want to do it that way?
That's fine with me.
All right. Well, this is the list that we came up with. This is our top 10 Dale Earnhardt trading cards. Number 10, 1991 Dodge Iroc Dale Earnhardt. That is a unnumbered card. It's an oversized card. It's a black and white card on the front with a checkered flag border around it. And it's a really, really nice card. The backs of them have a full color picture of Iroc cars, which is kind of weird to me that, on the back it's full color, but on the front it's black and white. But I remember when these cards came out, they were highly desirable. And I remember it seemed like those, they were wrapped in a cello pack, just like 88 Max. And those things were like for $1,000 or something really crazy for back 30 years ago for a set of those cards. And I remember having 2 of them. And I think I may have told this before, but I actually traded one of those for the Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty 92 Tracks auto that I have now. So that was a good deal for me, it turned out in the long run. But it's a really beautiful card. I highly, they're out there on eBay. Go out there and check them out. They're really nice cards. So number 9.
Wait, I was gonna say, I know we've talked about that 1991 Dodge Iroc set, so you have to check the archives. We did a show on that. So, all right, number 9.
All right, number 9 is the 1989 Max Crisco card, number 6. It looks pretty much the same as the regular base 89 Max, except the picture is different, and it's got the little Crisco logo. I think it's up on the upper left side, and it says Crisco edition. But they gave those cards out when you bought a Crisco product back in the day. They had these stand-up displays with hundreds of packs of cards in them, and I think you were kind of on the honor system, but of course back in the day, I don't think any of us were collecting racing were in the honor system. And anyway, a lot of people think this card is his rookie card. I mean, or think it's the same as his regular 89 Max issue, but it's not. This is a special promotional set. And again, it's not his rookie card. It's not the same as his regular 89 Max card, but it's still a nice card. It's got the orange border, the green back. It's still the same card, kinda, but it is different. It is a special card. So you got anything to say about that, Val? Jason?
I do. So I was quickly looking, show 61, we talked about the Iroc set, and show 48 is we talked about the Crisco set.
Cool.
So you can write that down, and then everybody can check out those shows in the archive if you want to find out more about those sets. Number 8.
Number 8 also is 1989 Max, number 3 card. It's his regular standard issued card from that year. Beckett considers this card to be his rookie card. However, we here at NasCardRadio do not think that is his rookie card, but it from a from a standard nationally distributed product, which, this was the second year of that. This, if you look at it that way, this would be, you could consider that his rookie card, because again, we'll touch on this here in a few minutes. The 88 Max, again, was, not his rookie card. It was a special, well, really wasn't a special card. They printed him up ahead of time, and thinking they were going to sign him, and they didn't sign him in time for the release of the set. So that card never really made it out. So 89 was his first nationally distributed issue. But it's a cool card. I love it. It's a great card. It's the same pose as they used on 88. And again, it's the orange border with the green backs. You got to watch out with those cards, because the 89s do a lot of chipping on the back when they cut them. And we've talked about this before, that we've noticed that, like on the boxed sets that come in the regular boxes, those cards, I don't know if they had a different print run, or they used different ink, or they used a different, blade to cut them, or whatever they did. Those things have a tendency to chip more. The ones that are in the toolbox set are the best ones if you're looking to get any of those cards graded, or to get a good example of that card. I would highly recommend buying the toolbox set. So that's my 2 cents.
I'll throw 2 more in there. 2 cents. Yeah, the toolbox set is the way to go. Also, show 48.
All right, so number 7 for Dale Sr., we have the 2000 Upper Deck SP Sign of the Times. It's just one of those cards. It's back when Upper Deck used to take pride in their designs, I think, a little bit more than we do today, because we have so many autographs going out the door. White card, vertical card, signed on card, and there's a huge white space for him to sign. And, his big signature fits in there greatly. There's currently one on eBay for the, price of a cup of coffee, $975. To give you a little bit of a comparison, there's a Dale Jarrett on there as well for $35. So you're talking, 30 times. So the Dale Jr., the Dale Sr. card is definitely one for the higher end collector, but I think it's perfect. I mean, it's a perfect autograph card, I think, for Dale Sr.
Yeah, he's got that beautiful, like you said, autograph on there with that white background. Yeah, I think that's a classic.
Yeah, that card pops. I mean, and you can tell that he just didn't sit down there and do an I give up autograph and just do a kind of scribble. I mean, he took his time and actually did a really great job with those cards. That's why I love those so much, because there's no streaking for the most part. And it looks like he used good Sharpies when he signed them. And the card design itself is so simplistic that it makes it beautiful.
Not to sidetrack, but could you imagine Dale Sr. and Richard Petty trying to fit their autographs onto a sticker to put on cards like these? They would probably just walk away. So that was number 7. Number 6 is the 96 Press Pass Burning Rubber. Limited to 500, definitely more affordable than number 7 is. Roughly about $30, $35 on eBay. The one thing I don't like about this card, but I understand, is because it's a burning rubber relic, it is tire, I don't know what you want to call it, powder, or you guys can help me out on that one, but it's a picture of the car. There's no profile picture of Senior or anything like that. It is solely the car. I will say that it's centered well on the card. The photo is centered well. Like, it has that nice Goodwrench logo. But that's a little bit of a turnoff to me, and I think the price kind of agrees with me on that. But it's an interesting card because it sticks off of the card just a little bit. It's a raised relic. But what would you call that substance?
I think it is actual tire. That's the first year
Well, no, I'm saying it's not like would it be powder, like pressed powder? Or is
I
it like a
thought it
cut
was actually
surface?
a piece of cut. I have
Okay.
a 97 burning rubber, and it's actually like a rubber ring that is on the card. So I'm
Okay.
assuming the 96. I don't have one of those. I've been
No,
looking
they
for those.
are. They're you guys are you're correct, Val. It is a piece of real rubber.
Because there are other years where it's like a smeared on raised texture, correct?
Yeah, that's the skid marks.
What-
You walked right into that, Jason.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I know we're going for consecutive skid marks here. Skid marks each and every week. So,
But another thing about that card is that's his first memorabilia card, because that was also the first memorabilia set, produced by Press Pass.
And for something like that, granted, I think when a company goes out of business, it hurts value. But for something like that, $35 is very affordable, especially with him having nothing since 2014 or 15, whatever it was. Your options are limited. So that price range, that's a great pickup, I think. Okay, moving on. Number 5, the 1982 Kidco Tough Wheels laser print. Number 7, Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty drafting to win. Now, you guys will have to fill me in. This is an unfamiliar card on this list to me.
So this is a set we covered on episode number 50. This is from the Matchbox or the Little Metal Cars, and there are 2 smaller cards that came in the blister pack. There are 2 NASCAR cars in there. I think it's a 30-card set. That there's the Dan Earnhardt drafting to win with Richard Petty, and then Richard Petty has his own card as well. And so, like I said, these are found in the blister packs, and then having to try to survive since 1982 when the kids opening those packs for those cards. Sorry, when the kids were opening those packs for the cars, they probably didn't care much about the cards. There's not a lot of them around, and kind of the earliest Dale Earnhardt, even though it's not a picture of him, it's the cars. Some of the earliest trading cards with him or the car on it.
Yeah, this would be his first card as far as anything pertaining to either his likeness or his car. And also, I'm not trying to correct you, Val, but it's a 24 card set.
Thank you.
Just so you know. But this was, again, it's like what Val said. The cards came 2 per pack in a blister pack, and you can still find those on eBay. But the thing is, it's a crapshoot, because you could get any one of those cards, and depending on how the people take the photograph for the card that they're selling on eBay, you may or may not be able to see the card itself. But it's a cool card. It's yellow border. They're small. They're kind of a little bit bigger than the Sugar Daddy cards. If anybody's familiar with the Sugar Daddy cards that came in the Sugar Daddy suckers back in the 70s. But like I said, they're small, and they used that laser print technology back then, which I don't really know what that meant, but it sounded cool. It was high tech.
Yeah, it was high tech for the time.
I do remember talking about it now that you guys have refreshed me a little bit. I do remember and thinking about it and thinking about who's on this card and how rare it is. Have you ever seen one that was signed by both guys? Because I would imagine if you could, it would be a grail card for this sport.
Oh my God, that would be something.
Yeah, I don't think they're hard to find, let alone find signed. Yeah. Again, about trying to survive all that time, and as things get found, or I was able to pick up a case of. I think there's a case. Came in trucks or they came in cars. I'd gotten a case of the trucks, and trying to put a set together. So yeah, it would be, I guess, epic if there was a version of those signed.
Yeah, or either one. I mean, just having them signed. Oh my gosh, you're right. That could possibly, that has the potential of being a grail card.
So I'll have to try to send one, or next time I see Richard Petty, try to get one of those signed.
That's a great idea, Val.
I'll have to put that down.
Write that down. I think a through the mail thing is in my future.
There you go. You want to pick up number 4?
I can. Number 4, 1992 Tracks. Tracks autographs number A1, Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty autographs. This is probably one of the glamour cards of NASCAR. It was issued in packs back in 1992, and you all have heard the story from me before. I remember opening up a box and got Jeff Gordon and went, "Ah, crap, I really wish I had gotten Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty." But still, like I said, it's a glamour card. It's a beautiful card. It's got their pictures on it. They both signed it. What can you say about this card except it's an absolutely fantastic card. I mean, you still find them on eBay, but then here's the thing about this card too. You also find, and we've talked about it again, you can also find, forgeries and fake autographs too. So you have to do your homework on these cards, and we're here to help. If you want to shoot us a text, email, whatever, we'll be glad to answer any questions you guys have on these cards. But yeah, this card number 4 in our list of the 92 Tracks is a really, really nice card. And if you can, find one at a good price and drop some coin on it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, they have 2 7-time champions autographed. And again, early, in the releases of NASCAR cards in 1992, that's probably major epic back in 92. So it's still pretty awesome card. So number 3, the 1986 Sports Star Photographics Racing with no number on it, Dale Earnhardt. It's a short print, and we're classifying this as number 3. And there's 2 versions of that. There's a version without the Sports Star Photographics address on the back, and then there's another version with the address on the back. So both of them are equally tough to find because of the short print. And those were either given away as incentives from Sports Star Photographics because they produced a placemat, and that was they produced placemats for numerous years, and then had these cards. And then also heard that they had 3 cards in a baggie at the tracks for sale.
Yeah, I never saw those cards at the track ever. I mean, those are the same things I've heard, Val. And of course, I was going to races back then and never saw them at the haulers. Of course, I did see the placemats, and I've got a whole bunch of placemats. In fact, behind me, if you could see me, there's a Bill Elliott placemat on my wall right behind me. But I never saw the cards. I mean, if I had seen those, I would have definitely got them. But because I was still, I've always been collecting cards, but I was, of course, collecting NASCAR at that point. But it's just one of those crazy things. But it's like what you said. This is a short print, and you got to watch out. These cards sometimes are not centered exactly right, and they are a little bit bigger than your normal 2.5 by 3.5 trading card. So trying to cram one of these things into a top loader is not recommended.
Yes, do not do that. Number 2, 1988 Max, number 99, Dale Earnhardt. And this was the promo. This was the card that they were going to release, but didn't get permission and had to shelve them. They being Max did not destroy them. They put them in their warehouse. So these cards were released a few other times. So we're kind of lumping them somewhat together. There's a version that was released in 94 from Max Medallion, number 999, and then there's a 97 version that's autographed, number 200. But it's iconic. It's just that image and the red and the black, and it's just a great card of the Intimidator.
Yeah, definitely a glamour card for sure for NASCAR. I remember in 1994 when they had the redemption cards in the Medallion product, and I bought And that medallion product was expensive. And of course, I didn't have a whole lot of money back then. And I remember, buying 3 boxes, out of this fresh case, hoping I could hit that redemption card, but I never had any such luck. And of course, and I didn't even really know that card existed until then. And I'm sure most collectors didn't know that either.
Yeah, right. So you try to look at the timeline. He's in the 88 Max, that card number 87. That's really a team photo. He's supposed to have the 88 card. Max didn't release it. A few got out, and they would go and change hands in the meshes boards and stuff like that, and they were very expensive. 94 comes around. Max works out a deal with Dale Earnhardt to release the 1,000 that are official. So those technically are the official. Then in 97, they did the 100 that are autographed. It wasn't until Max went bankruptcy and had the bankruptcy sale that these unauthorized versions had gotten out. So we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. I think we saw a bunch. So they've kind of come out, and a lot of folks don't, they just assume it was released in 88. So
Yeah, and if you've got one of these cards raw, I highly recommend getting it graded. It is going to enhance the value, if you're concerned about that, of that card. Plus, it's going to protect it because it is a tough card.
yeah, there are some, we'll say, counterfeits of those, but Kannapolis is spelt wrong on the back. That's kind of the easiest takeaway on that.
Yeah, it's like Kannapolis or something. It's really weird.
Yeah. And then number 1 is the 1983 Uno Racing number 27. So we talk about the 1983 Uno set in show 31, but that was a small 30 card set that was produced that we think for Uno was not a track giveaway or anything like that. Limited supply. And we tell more about the story of the 83 Uno on the episode, but basically nobody really knew about it until about 90, 91, when the person who produced them, David Chobat, approached one of the price guides and showed them, and he also sold them in an ad in a few issues of that. So, but that's a great set. That's got Dale Earnhardt, first cards of Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Allison's also in there, as well as numerous Tim Richmonds, Buddy Baker,
Cal Petty,
and of course the King Richard Petty's in there as well.
Yeah, and what we were talking about earlier on this is, this is what we consider to be his rookie card, and it's a very tough card. You're not going to find very many of these on eBay, and when you do, they're going to go for a really pretty penny. Because I think one recently sold, didn't it, Val? Do you remember that?
83 Uno, yeah, I think it was a 9 for 1,300.
Yeah, something like that.
I know we're past the hour mark. If we got a few we want to mention as honorable mentions.
Yeah, I've got one that I like, and it's not going to be a high dollar card, but it's the 1990 Max Holly Farms HF1 Dale Earnhardt. It looks just pretty much like the 1990 Max. Of course, it's got the little Holly Farm logo on it and all that, but it's a nice little card. They're pretty plentiful, and I think Jason is actually chasing that set autographed.
Yeah, that's the one. I like it because it's 30 cards. It's not too difficult. There's a couple deceased people in there. One being who we just talked about, Dale Sr. So that'll be the tough one, but it's attainable. So I started it, and I have 2 so far. Benny Parsons and Harry Gant. So it works well. It's a nice starter TTM set. So
you got one, Val?
Yeah, this one is kind of off the beaten path, whatever. But the 1995 Max Crown Chrome SS1 Silver Select. Now, Dale Earnhardt Sr. is not necessarily shown in this, but it's the silver car that he ran at the All-Star race, and that kind of changed the game for advertising. I remember everybody was chasing that diecast, and after this, drivers were having a special paint scheme for the All-Star race. And so this card is limited to 750. And again, it was that Crown Chrome, which was kind of their high-end chrome product. So this is a short print in the chrome.
Yeah, that's
Logan,
a
do you
nice
have one of
looking
those?
card. I've got one somewhere. I swear to God, I don't know where it's at. Though. You should see this place. It's terrible now.
But what did you say about it? It was nice looking?
It is a very nice looking card.
Yeah, so I've been trying to chase that one. That's one I do not have yet.
All right. Another card that I like, and I do have this card, is the 1998 Upper Deck Road to the Cup 50th Anniversary Autograph card. It's number AN49. And from what I remember on those cards is you got a redemption card and you would send it in and they would send you these cards back. And you don't see hardly any of these cards out there on the market these days. I mean, much less Dale Earnhardt. I was lucky enough to find this one at the National back in Chicago last year, but that was the first one of those I had seen in years and years and years. So they're pretty hard to find. So if you can find one of those at a good price, and I'm going to say good price is probably, $700 to $1,000. You're not going to get them cheap, but they are limited. And they're very beautiful. The card is like a red foil on the front with a picture of him with his autograph. It's just an absolutely beautiful card.
One that I was thinking about was the 1984 Press Pass Optima XL. It's card number 43, and it's actually, we'll say, a variation or a corrected card. So the original card was Dale and Teresa Earnhardt on the card. They ended up removing Dale, and then it was more of a close-up picture of Teresa. So they can be found in the $20-$30 range if you have some patience. There's some folks I think have them out there for, I don't know, it's $200, but I believe there's a red hot version as well for it. But the one picture's got Dale Earnhardt, and he's got his arms around Teresa, so it's probably not the image you're used to seeing Dale Senior. So,
yeah, he was actually being sweet.
So I've actually was able to find a few of these.
Okay, I'm going to do one more, and it's only because it's a really hard card to find. The 1985 Big League card of Dale Earnhardt is actually it's got a weird number. It's number 36A298. I don't know where that came from, but I think if I remember correctly, that card has one of the car, maybe is it dollar rental car on it or something that they gave away at the rentals. I think gave away at the rental desks for the cars. You just don't see those cards at all. They're hard to find, but they're really nice. It's got that Big League, and you guys have seen those cars before. That were made by Big League back then. They're kind of generic, because they had them for all the different sports. But they did have some for Dale Earnhardt, which have, like I said, they're rare. But it's really a nice looking card. It's a standard size card, and it's like I said, it's just hard to find. So if you find one, I'd definitely pick it up.
I've got one more, and actually, Logan, you put it on the list, and it's actually on one of mine too. I'm actually trying to find one of these. It's a 1998 Maximum Field General, and I believe it's a 3-star General, and it's autographed to 100. I think the 4-star is 101. There's a 1-star, 2-star, 3, and 4-star General. The first is just a regular card. I think the 2-star General is die cut, and then the third is die cut and autographed to 100. Because I'm trying to make that Maximum Field Generals 3-star. So I'm missing a few, and Dale Earnhardt is one of them. So it's a tough one to find. Like you said about that 50th anniversary, you don't see them. I think I've seen only one or two here in the last, I don't know, five years or whatever. So they're kind of tough. They get into people's collections, and nobody lets go of them.
That's exactly what I was just getting ready to say. Once they get into a collection, people don't want to let go of them.
Yeah, why would you want to get rid of a Dale Earnhardt Senior auto? They're, like I said, a work of art too. So, and then I'm just going to go over a quick couple of these other ones we had on the list here and move on. The 1993 Action Pack 24 karat gold, number 18G. And then the 1992 Pro Set no number Dan Hart hologram, black and white.
Yeah, I like those holograms. I tried like crazy to get one of those back then, and I was never able to get one of those. I ended up years later buying one. But yeah, those are really neat. They have a black. Some of them have white borders. Some of them have black borders. I think the black border looks the best.
And then also the 1991 Tough Stuff Junior, number 26.
Yeah, that's the ones I gave away in the Tough Stuff Junior magazine. So condition on those things could be tough. No pun intended.
And we'll hit some eBay auctions and we'll wrap this up. Again, we appreciate everybody listening so far to the show.
Yeah, I know this one's running long. We try to, believe it or not, we do try to keep these things an hour or maybe a little over an hour, and they always seem to go long. So we appreciate you guys hanging with us. Yeah, I'll do a couple of eBay auctions real quick. One of them I saw, this was on the 31st, 2020 Topps Chrome Max Verstappen Sapphire Gold out of 50, PSA 9. It was a buy it now price of, drum roll, $10,000. Somebody went click and bought it for 10 grand. Where y'all people getting this money from?
That was a 9.
That was a 9. My gosh, that is unbelievable.
The ultimate rainbow.
Yeah, no doubt. Another thing I saw that I thought was pretty neat, on the 30th, 2020 Prism score lot of Ty freaking Gibbs. There was 11 autos in this thing and one gold base card. The person on it that was selling it had a starting price or a buy it now price of $5,999. It did not go for that. Okay. It ended up going for $1,000, which is still a lot. I averaged that out. That's $83 a card.
Wow.
For Ty freaking Gibbs. So,
well, we'll see if he continues what he started last season. We'll see.
I have no doubt he's going to have the right equipment. He will be the same or better.
What's that song? His future's so bright, he's got to wear shades.
Absolutely. So I thought that was neat. It had there was like 2 different gold autos out of 10, a silver auto, some mosaic autos, 3 of them, a green scope auto, a red and blue auto, a blue auto, a rainbow auto out of 24. Then out of score, it had the purple auto out of 25 and the non-auto gold base out of 10. So that's a pretty great lot of cards. Somebody picked up a lot of cards. I hope they made some money off of it. But you know, that starting price of $59.99, that's just throwing something on the wall and seeing if it sticks. My gosh. So after that, something else I saw too, 2021 National Treasures Chris Buescher Fire Suit Booklet 101. It had the Monster Energy patch on it, which really looked nice. It went for $153.50. I thought that was decent for that card. Something else that Val and I saw, and this ended on the 28th, and this goes back to, Holy Grail stuff. 1972 STP card lot. And how many cards was that, Val? Was it like...
I think he said that it was missing 3.
Yeah, there's 7 cards in that. It went for a buy it now price. Somebody did the little click and bought it for $5,500. The Richard Petty is in a PSA slab, and it is an authentic autograph. It had Charging Charlie Glotz back in it. It had Dave Marcus, Buddy Baker, Elmo Langley. Let's see, who else did it have in it? It had James Hilton and I think Dick Brooks were the cards. So it didn't have any of the Fred Lorenzen cards or Bobby Allison, which are always the really tough cards, which are the ones I'm still missing as well. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Really, I think in the grand scheme of things, I think whoever bought that probably paid what they're probably worth right now. and maybe speculating that they're going to go up, which I think they will, because there's just not any of those cards out there, right, Val?
Yeah, they're tough, right? We broke down some of the numbers, I guess it was a few episodes ago. So, and again, they're 50 years old. So,
I didn't even think about that till you said that tonight.
yeah, time flies, right? So
It does.
it didn't seem like they were that long ago. But basically, they're missing. I think it was Benny Parsons, Bobby Allison, and Freddie Lorenzen.
Yeah.
And I actually had contacted the seller to kind of say, hey, we saw it close. Did it sell? And it was, paid for. So he confirmed both. And so Ray was really nice. And he said he was looking to maybe try to find a Andre the Giant signed rookie card. So, but he was been trying to find those 3 cards for the STP set, and I guess had given up. So
I'm not giving up.
no, me either.
I'm just going to end up paying through the nose. That's all. While we're talking about Ty Gibbs again, on the 29th, there was a 2020 Prism Ty Gibbs autographed gold vinyl, which we all know those are the 101s. It had a asking price or a buy it now price of $2,499. Well, it ended up going for a best offer accepted price of $1,546
Wow.
for Ty freaking Gibbs.
Wow.
Gold vinyl 101. Yeah.
Maybe some of that F1 money is coming in.
Well, there seems to be plenty of it.
Wow. That's impressive.
That is impressive for a Ty Gibbs 1 of 1. Of course, that's going to be his rookie card, though, too. So, keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I saw on the 31st, and we were talking about the 92 tracks autograph set a while ago. There was a complete set of all cards signed, including of course, the Earnhardt and Richard Petty, for $525. Buy it now. I actually think that wasn't bad. I mean, you're going to pay just for the Earnhardt and Petty. You're going to pay $300, maybe $400 for that one card alone, and you're going to get Jeff Gordon and all the other cards in there as well. So that's probably not a bad price for that.
No, I was thinking the same thing. That didn't seem like too bad.
No, I can see why somebody would buy it now. I mean, if I needed those cards in that set, and had the money, that'd be an easy click for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if the Earnhardt Petty looked good, then yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, I looked at it; it looked fine. It wasn't no forgeries, no fake anything. It all looked legit to me.
You'd have the money if you stopped buying Richard Petty National Treasures autographs.
Oh boy, yeah, yeah. Well, I got to show you something else after we get off of here.
So I'll update you guys on an auction that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Remember the 6,700 boxes of Food Line? Still available. Price hasn't dropped. Actually, I watched it that night that we talked about it originally. And I think by the time I got up in the morning, I had gotten one of those, seller offers, 10% off or whatever. I mean, so it took it to like $5,400, but still hasn't moved.
No, I'm afraid whoever's got those is going to sit on them for a while. They're going to gather some dust.
I'm like you. If I had the money, because I have a place to put them and sell them, but if I had the money and the means to get them here, I would buy those in a heartbeat and sell them for $3 or $4 a box and just triple, quadruple my money or whatever it is. I think they would be an easy sell that you'd have forever. And because I sell some stuff on the side at a consignment shop, and I set stuff there that's like, oh, that'll sit for a year and it's gone in 3 weeks because it's just this random stuff that you don't see very often. So I had the money, I would buy it, but not that I've always been the wisest with my money.
No, I'm with you. I'm a Richard Petty fan. If I had the money and the means and a place, like you said, a place to put it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd consider it.
So I have one other thing that's kind of interesting, and I have kept forgetting to bring it up. And you can correct me if I'm wrong and cut this out if need be. But wasn't the Prism Racing box that was on there for $800, Wasn't that 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not, as far as I can tell, it's not listed anymore. It is on the Steel City website for $799.95. But in browsing and looking around, so just for comparison, Steel City sells the hobby box for $800. They sell the fat packs, the retail cellos with the red, white, and blues. They sell one pack for $30. And then they have a 12-pack lot of the cellos for $240. So you get a little bit of a discount from them if you buy, in bulk. However, there's an eBay auction for a sealed fat pack box that sold for $96. So nowhere near what, Steel City has them for. And I know we talked off and on about that $800 box and, if it would move or not, because they're not out there, they're not plentiful. I can't, based off of this retail box for 96, I can't see that hobby box moving for anywhere close to 8. I think it would have to be like 3 to 4 now.
Yeah, there's actually one on eBay.
Oh, is there? I must have missed it.
It's $499.95.
Oh, you're right. I saw that one. Yes. Even at that price, I think you got to go 3 or at least 4.
Yeah, if it was 2 or 3, I'd jump all over just to have it. I wouldn't, because you can't open it at that price.
Right.
No.
And try to even break even. So, because I think we broke down the sell sheet a few weeks ago about 2016, and I thought you got more color than you did, but you don't really get that much color. So,
well, and even the one that sold for $96, and granted, it's a retail, and people crap on retail sometimes. It's a love-hate thing, but it got 21 bids. I mean, that's a strong number of bids. And so 96 is definitely the fair market value with that many bids going into it. It wasn't a buy it now that, somebody jumped on for a low price. This is fair market value.
Yeah. So those fat packs, I think, have the red, white, and blues and camos in them.
Yeah, I know they got the red, white, and blues in there, and I thought the camos came in the blasters.
Maybe. That's the only way. I've never opened any of the fat packs. I've only opened blasters and a few hobby boxes.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now, Jason. Yeah, that was on December 23rd. I think that was a good price. Whoever paid $96 for that did well.
Yeah,
because even that's below cost in the store. You're looking $96, 12 packs. It's like $8. Something like that. Yeah, it is $8 a pack. So in the store, they were at least $10. In 2016, they were probably $9.99. So I think anytime you can get better than the retail price, you're doing well.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as tough as that stuff has become.
Well, guys, we have anything else? We're almost after an hour and a half. We thank everybody for sticking with it here. Hopefully, you've learned a few things, or we've been able to help answer some questions. But thanks to Panini America, and again, thanks for everybody for listening to and downloading the podcast. Please share and like the podcast. And from me and the guys, we will catch you next week, and we can talk about the first race there at the Busch Clash.